Hello, I'm David Penn, research analyst with Finnovate. We're here at Finnovate Fall 2024 in New York City, and joining me for a brief conversation is Rahul Kumar. He is the Vice President and General Manager of Financial Services and Insurance with Talkdesk. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, David. Nice to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's jump right into the conversation if we could. In your experience, how has the thinking on customer experience evolved over time from the perspective of a senior leader like yourself?
So I think one of the things that we're seeing in the industry is CX is fast becoming a strategic initiative for executives across the board, for banks and credit unions. Talkdesk recently did a survey where we polled over 200 professionals managing CX, and the responses were unsurprising. 86% of executives responded saying that they do believe CX is a strategic investment priority that can lead to brand differentiation for themselves. 63% felt that they could tie CX metrics to value, and 80% do believe that contact center is becoming fast a strategic investment area for them. So it's definitely top of mind for executives. We are very excited around some of the work and the innovation that is impacting customer experience in this space. And as an organization, Talkdesk is seeing incredible momentum working with banks and credit unions, helping them transform customer experience and make that a key part of their differentiation when it comes to their brands.
Yeah, that makes a great deal of sense, and the number that you gave us, that upwards of 80%, certainly sort of reflects an understanding of the importance of CX. But at the same time, it's not that easy necessarily to implement and deliver. Why is it so hard to get that superior customer experience to customers?
I think it goes down to a couple of factors, David. One is primarily, I think, financial services institutions still operate as a siloed organization. At times, they do have a product orientation and less customer orientation. So everybody talks about customer experience, but the way their operating models are structured, they continue to run with deposits, lending, and nobody is truly owning the overall customer journey. And what the way they're structured and organized, what it leads to is a fragmented, siloed technology investment decision making. So what happens is every part of the organization is looking at their products, their experience, and not looking at it holistically. And then they end up with a cluttered technology ecosystem, which leads to, which brings friction into the journeys, right? Like if I have a deposit relationship with the bank, I have a credit card, I have a loan, I have a business banking relationship, I, as a customer, expect to be treated the same, irrespective of what I'm reaching out to them for.
Right.
And a lot of time that isn't the case, right? And more importantly, as customer expectations have evolved and everybody wants to be engaging in the channels that they want to engage with their institution, most of the channels are not connected as well. So there's no unification of data, there's no unification of channels, and that's what creates blind spot in the customer journey, and that's where the experience breaks down, essentially.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I mean, you think about it as a customer, we might have many varying interests, but we're a singular entity. And oftentimes the institutions see it almost the other way around, that they see us as this fragmented entity and they try to treat us that way. Very, very interesting point. I'm curious, from your perspective and what you've seen, what are some of these financial institutions trying to do to overcome these challenges?
So I think three things, right? One of the things that we are seeing an increased adoption of is, removing capability based on investment decisions, right? So taking a more of a platform-based strategy to how they want to orchestrate customer journeys. So that's something that is, we're very excited about the possibility that leading with platforms and not capabilities is a conversation that's happening today with a lot of different organizations, right? The second aspect of that is also creating ownership and accountability around who owns the customer journey. So creating customer journey cabinets, making leaders within the organization truly accountable, so that the decision making that I spoke about can be unified. So the investment decisions are not fragmented. They're taking the entire the customer journey cabinets are responsible for the end-to-end journey of that the institutions are putting forward. And I think at the end of the day, taking that platform approach is allowing organizations to unify channels and data, which and when that happens, then AI can be, everybody is talking about AI, but AI can be a big step up incremental differentiator that helps them overcome some of the traditional challenges that whether it's poor experiences, resource challenges. AI can be a big overlay to help organizations overcome some of the traditional challenges that they see.
Very interesting. A little while ago you mentioned contact centers, and just now you mentioned AI, and I wanted to talk about both a little bit. I'm curious why leaders are starting to prioritize the contact center as a place for really deploying strategies with regard to both AI and customer experience.
So it's a two-part answer to that question, David. One, the contact center, organizations are realizing that the contact center pretty much is becoming the digital front door for those brands, right? Because the contact center is not just a call center anymore. The contact center can absorb interactions that are happening within your branches.
Right.
It can absorb interactions that are happening on your websites. It can absorb conversations that are happening behind the login inside your mobile app. All of those conversations can be brought in seamlessly on modern contact center platforms and unified, right? So, and then you are able to orchestrate not just the traditional call experience or a voice experience for your customers. You're now leading with digital, you're leading with AI, and you are able to utilize modern contact center platforms to orchestrate and differentiate your brand, and you can match the experiences that we as customers have gotten accustomed to from retail, from high-tech organizations, right? So banks are taking note of that and are looking at contact center platforms that are providing much more capabilities than before to orchestrate those experiences. That's one part of that. The other part of the equation is because of the advent of AI. AI is delivering incredible results when it comes to efficiency and employee effectiveness. So with that, it is generating capacity. So when you think about it, when human capital was traditionally in the contact center, was handling mundane tasks that are now being able to automate. Organizations are being able to automate. So in those scenarios, what do you do with that capacity? So now you can think about additional use cases where you can actually utilize that additional capacity to deliver financial wellness of conversations. So it's not the contact center resources are not just answering questions around balances, transactions. They can actually engage with proper training and change management. Obviously, they can engage in financial wellness conversations, look out for the financial well-being for your customer base. So that's an interesting dynamic as well. You're generating capacity to do a lot more and do a lot more high-value conversations than the traditional low-value conversations that happen in the contact center.
That makes a great deal of sense, and I think it's also a helpful reminder of why contact center is not a call center. It's far, far more, and will be perhaps far, far more going forward. I thought maybe by way of wrapping up, we talked a bit about what institutions' challenges are, we've talked a little bit about what they're trying to do to face those challenges. I wanted to wrap up by talking about what Talkdesk is doing to help them overcome these challenges.
So one of the things that Talkdesk has done is we've taken a deep vertical approach to solving issue sets that we see common across the industry. So Talkdesk we are a value-led organization. We are an industry-focused organization. So basically identifying the pain points in the customer journey and bringing issue sets that are solving for that. We are identifying common technology sets and stacks where Talkdesk is becoming an ecosystem player. So irrespective of the existing technology stack that exists within a bank or a credit union, Talkdesk can seamlessly plug in and significantly accelerate time to value for their investments. But more importantly, I think because we are a value-oriented organization, we can engage in conversations around what is the return on investments organizations can expect when it comes to their investment in customer experience. What metrics matter?
Right.
How are we able to influence some of those metrics? How far can you move the needle? And then we also do a compare and contrast with some of our customers to see within your peer group how are you performing, right? Because there's always this open question. Okay, customer experience is important, but where are the benchmarks? So our ability to sort of put organizations in meaningful cohorts where we can do a compare and contrast around the maturity around which they are absorbing technology and then utilizing the technology to move the needle forward, that's how we make a difference, right? Because we're continuously challenging organizations to do more with the technology that they've already have. So it's not just, hey, you plug it in and we walk away and then you never hear from us. We stay very close to the customers and we continuously challenge them to continue to push the envelope and utilize technology to make a difference.
Interesting. Well, very much appreciated the conversation with you. Very much looking forward to finding out more about Talkdesk over the weeks, months, and years to come. So thank you very much for sitting down with us for a little bit.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, David.
Excellent.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Great. And thank you as well.
Thank you.